Hello, welcome back to Auto Pop Culture. Today we're going over the Hulu Originals film called Happiest Season. So let's start with the plot. So this plot goes the plot goes, meeting your girlfriend's family for the first time can be tough. Planning to propose at her family's annual Christmas dinner until you realize that they don't even know she's gay is even harder. When Abby learns that Harper has kept their relationship a secret from their family, she begins to question the girlfriend she thought she knew. So that last sentence is a lot. It pretty much that last sentence pretty much spoils pretty much the whole movie in a way, or gives you a big look of what the movie's really about. And it starts off as I feel like it exposed itself as a rom-com, a lesbian rom-com with a come-out story part. And we've seen this before. It was very big in 2005, 2009, and then as we grew, as acceptance have been much more accepting for us as queer people, at least the mainstream parts of us, the coming out hasn't really been that much of a big deal anymore, just as much as being gay isn't a big deal anymore. So, and I personally do not care for any type of coming out movies lately, because I feel like it's outdated. I feel like Love, Simon is completely outdated. I feel like Love, Victor is closer to what's going on and much more accurate, but I'll take that. Love, Simon was a little more accurate. It still had a lot of pieces where they're too scared to go for it, I won't go into that far into it. Don't get me started. So with that said, this film is decently good. Like, the whole premise of it, the whole atmosphere is really nice. The atmosphere is really nice. The storyline has a lot of questionable pieces, is what I want to, it's the nicest way I can say this. But I'll start with the good. So, atmosphere is amazing. I love that they're all wearing colors of Christmas in a way, or holidays, with a lot of, there's a lot of green, there's a lot of red, a lot of warm colors. The atmosphere is just right. We have Abby played by Kristen Stewart, she's one of my favorite actresses. I love her. She's amazing. And she killed it in this too. And, we also have a light newcomer, mainstream-wise, I feel like, Mackenzie Davis, who plays Harper, her girlfriend. And she's been in a couple things. Like, she's definitely making her rounds. I think for some reason a lot of people said that this was like her coming out direction. Oh, probably because I think she was driven to be the main character in this. It felt like that, but then as the story went on, we started to lean into Abby's story more than Harper's story. So if you haven't seen it, go see it now. Come back to this video and we can kiki about this more. If you have seen it, let's get started with this kiki. So first of all, we have a great cast. Great cast. We have Harper's dad, who's played by Victor Garber, who's been in Argo, Titanic, Legally Blonde. He's very iconic. And then we have another iconic actress playing Harper's mom is Mary Steenburgen, who's been in a lot of things. She's made her rounds a long time ago, for days, Stepbrother, Back in the Future 3. So we definitely have a good cast. And we have the sisters, who's played by Alyssa Brie. We love Alyssa Brie from Glow. We have the other two sisters played by Mary Holland. She's been in Blunt Talk. We have, I think that's pretty much it. And then we have a side character / not side character going by the name of Riley, who's played by who's played by Aubrey Plaza, who I love. Aubrey Plaza. Aubrey Plaza is iconic officially. Like, Ingrid Goes to West, on its own. Legion on its own. She is a fucking force. With that said, there's a lot of pieces where I felt like I did not like the family. The family could fucking run off a fucking bridge and die. Like, it was just brutal how we go into this. It starts off, so let me go to the beginning. So it starts off happy with Abby and Harper. They're in Pittsburgh, they're having a winter kind of moment, and they're climbing over, like, roofs, on top of roofs to watch the parade go on, and it's at night, and it's so cute, and she's like, and we hear that, like, Abby's not really into the Christmas vibe. She's had her parents died, I'm assuming, from what I remember, I think it was on Christmas or around that time. And so she doesn't really believe in Christmas that much right now. She doesn't have that spirit. And Harper, on the other hand, does. And she, on top of that, has an offer. It was like, oh, why don't you come over to spend time? I'm going to my family's house. Why don't you come meet my family, and you'll have a Christmas with us, blah, blah, blah. And everything's fine. She was like, and of course, like, Abby's like, I don't really want to. But she's like, come on! And so she does. She's like, fine, I'll do it, because maybe it'll help, I want to meet your family, blah, 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 blah. Because she's thinking in her head, okay, I can impress the family. On top of that, I want to ask the dad to, permission to marry Harper. So she wants to propose. And this is such a great idea. It's a great, great, great idea at first. But as they're heading to the house, on their way to it, they're heading to the house, and they're just maybe, I want to say, like, block-ish far away from the house, and she stopped the car, she's like, well, I didn't tell him that I was gay. And Abby gave it the appropriate look, just like, why the fuck am I here then? Why the fuck am I here if you're not even out, you know? You're not even, like, this is not my problem, this is not my space. Like, if you're not out to your family, that's fine. And that's what she said. She's like, if you're not out, you can figure out another time to do it. Even though she did lie to her over before, saying that she did come out to her parents. So, of course, Abby was excited about this first, but now she knows that it was a lie. And now she knows she has to automatically fake their relationship by saying, like, oh no, we're not in a relationship, we're just roommates. And that's just suck. That's a lot of putting a lot of pressure on somebody that's already out and proud as she is. So, but we run with it because, this is a part of the story. So, going with that, we go from there and we meet the family, and mom and dad are just overbearing. Just, mom is a perfectionist, so she's every bit of thing that goes wrong, she's just flying out the handle. And then you have dad, who barely is paying attention at all. And he's running for mayor, so that's a piece of why Harper didn't come out to her dad, or to her family, because she didn't want to sabotage his mayor run, and which is ridiculous. It's like, and she's scared that they will disown her in some way, the way that they don't, because they have to fight for their love anyway. That is already toxic already. I'm not even liking the parents already, but I do like the actor, so I'm going with it. So that happens, and then so everything's cool, because they're like, okay, we're in the closet, but we can still, like, hook up and, like, kiss and make, and hang out and everything, and have our own, like, moments inside, inside Abby's room, where she's staying inside the house. She's staying in, Jane's room, which is played by Marie Holland. She's very, like, overly pleasing. She's trying to please her dad, trying to please her family, just over the top. You can tell, like, she's trying so hard to be noticed. And you have Sloane, who's the older sister, second to oldest. She's a middle child, and she is just completely an asshole. Complete asshole, doesn't give a shit about what's going on. She's throwing shade left to right at anybody that just walks near her. And it's just like, wow, you're really... And then, of course, but she also has a rivalry with Harper, too. It's a whole mess. And so on top of that, she also has kids. And their kids is ridiculous. They're just little shits. They shits to the point where they literally they hang out with Abby at a mall, and this is Abby's time. It's like, oh, I can bond with them. I can like get some good terms with somebody in the family. And of course, the first thing they do is that they decide to steal a necklace and put it in her bag without her knowing. So she gets attacked or just attacked by guards and from mall guards, and they're like, oh. The family is like, oh, since that happened, she's like, it wasn't, I didn't do this. It wasn't me. I did not steal anything. She's like, and the dad's like, it's probably that you don't go to our actual Christmas dinner because you were a shoplifter and that looks better on my candidacy I'm running. So she's already pissed on that. And on top of that, we have Harper's ex-boyfriend come into the picture, who her mom's trying to pimp out hardcore onto Harper. Which I understand, she doesn't really know that she's with Abby, but it's one of the things that I get pissed is like, don't try to pimp out don't try to pimp out people, guys to your daughter or women to your son. Like, it's not a thing. Like, if they're not interested, you gotta back off. But so that's already happening, and that's already putting an edge on Abby, because she's like, this is not, why the hell is he here? And of course, and on top of that, why is he still here? Why haven't you kicked him out? Or why, and on top of that, why have you said, because he's flirting hardcore on her, and she's like, but I don't want to say anything. And he's just like, why didn't you pull him aside and say, hey, I'm not interested in you. This is not ever going to happen. I appreciate what we had before, but this is not going to happen. Done. With that said, don't. You can be friends with me, but don't. Don't try to make a move. Don't lean into my mom trying to get you to hook up with me. Not gonna happen. That was one. Two, the ex-girlfriend starts to show up, and I still don't understand how she's part of it entirely, but she is. And fortunately for me, I actually do like the ex-girlfriend whose name's Riley, once again played by Aubrey Plaza. She comes in and she has such a level head. She's so chill, and we kind of piece by piece pull off the layers of onions with her, as Abby has no other way to go because she can't spend time with her girlfriend, and her girlfriend's spending time with her fucking ex-boyfriend for the approval of her mom. So she goes out to a gay bar with Riley, because Riley finds out that they're together, and they go out and have a good time, and they have so much great chemistry. Way better than Harper. And Harper's all over the place. She wants things, she doesn't want things. She's jealous, she's not jealous. She wants to stay in the closet, but she wants her to be okay with it and just smile and have a good time with it. Just like, this is hurting Abby. And this is much, and it's just a mess. So on top of that, we start to find out that this is not a first time she's done this. That Harper has done this, where she put somebody else's coming out in jeopardy. She has done this to Riley. Riley explains to Abby at the club, or at the bar, she's like, yeah, she did this to me. We were dating and everything, and we had a good thing. And then when somebody found out that we were dating, she immediately said that she wasn't gay, that Riley was the one that was gay, that keeps stalking her, and she won't leave her alone. So of course, Riley gets teased and everything, and called a lesbian and everything, and Harper gets off by being in a closet still, but still Riley gets the shit part of it, And so, with that story, Abby realizes, like, oh, this is happening again, and do I want to be part of this? I do not want to be that person that gets pushed out. Like, I have, there's, my life of being gay, of being a lesbian, is much more important than this shit, So, of course, she starts seeing that, and things start climbing to where things are just getting out of control. Sorry, I'm looking at my bullet points to make sure I'm not missing anything. So it's getting out of control. She can't even go to the party, but then she can't even go to the Christmas party, but then it got to a point where she's fucking fed up. She got to the point where she's not looking to come out, she's flirting, and Harper's flirting with the ex-boyfriend, so she's like, fuck it. So she gets her friend John, who's played by Dan Levy, Schitt's Creek, and he pretty much drives over to the parents' house and to get Abby and take her home. And Abby's like, I'm done. We're breaking up. We're broken up. Like, I'm going home. Blah blah blah. And of course, this finally takes something on Harper, where she's like, "Oh no, I don't want you to leave. Why could you leave me? Blah blah blah." And she's like, "I don't give like, what the fuck? Like, this is not what I want to do." So of course, John is there. But with John in there and everything happening, and she's getting ready to go pack her shit. A huge outburst happens from between Sloane and Harper because they're rivals, and shit goes crazy because Harper finds out that Sloane and her husband, who's played by Burr Mosley, who's in Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, he's one of the co-workers of Rebecca's. They're getting a divorce, but they didn't tell their parents. And she knows for sure, like, that is something you can't do. That's also something that wouldn't look good on the dad's mayor run. So of course, but Sloane is more vicious, and she decides to out Abby once she finds out out Harper once she finds out that Harper and Abby are a thing. Because she knows that will sabotage, so she wants to go first. So she outs Harper. Harper immediately denies that she's lesbian, and immediately Abby's like, oh, and there it is. That's confirmed. She goes down and she really gets ready to go down and starts packing. And she misses the whole part where she explains to people, she's like, I'm out. Or no, she doesn't. She's still there. So Harper explains, she's like, actually, no, it's not. It is true. I am gay. I'm with her. I'm tired of hiding. I'm tired of doing this stuff. And Sloane sees that, feels bad, because they realize it's like, this is part of what's holding us back, is our parents making us feel like we have to be something. So of course she comes out, she's like, yes, we're getting a divorce too. And then Jane comes through, she's like, and I'm fucking tired of being ignored. I'm tired of leaning backwards for everybody, and no one has appreciated or even sees me. And so of course the mom's like, oh. And of course Harper's looking at Abby's like, does that clean everything up? She's like, it's too late. And I was like, yes, it's too fucking late. And I was so happy for her, and I was like, I hope you get with Riley at the end of this, and you bond over the fact that your ex was an asshole. So yeah, so she gets ready to leave. She does leave, but of course Harper chases her down and confesses her love. I want to spend my whole life with you. Please don't leave me. And of course Abby's like, okay. And so they get together, which is, I guess it's great. And they come back, and of course, next Christmas Day, Dad decides that he isn't so mad about what's going on, even though he walked away when she did come out to him. He's like, this is too much, kind of thing. But of course, Christmas Day happens, and everything wraps up on Christmas Day. And it's like, he comes out of his room, he's like, guys, I really, really love you all, and I really don't want you to change for anything. And it was like, which is good. I'm glad that happened. I will say, that picture part was really happened. It was really great. How he broke down everything he was trying to show, that he's like, I'm so upset that this is what happened, to the point where he actually tells the person that's helping him run as mayor, he's like, I'm dropping out. I'm not going to be mayor if this is what this does to my family. Which is great. I'm glad that he followed through, and he showed up in that direction after his part. So everything is good in that direction, and a future ahead, a year later, Abby and Harper are engaged, and they're with the family, and they're watching a movie, and finally, Abby is part of the family. So it ends like that. I also know that it's based off. There's some parts that are very based off of some truth with the director, why can I pronounce the smallest words? Clay Duvall. She is in all that. She's in a lot of things, but I'm a cheerleader, Girls Interrupted. She's been behind the camera directing before. She does a great job. She actually is a low-key autobiography, and with the help of Marie Holland, who actually helped her write the script. So yeah, so I know there's a pieces of it that was in it that has to do with it, but I feel like this is, I give a nod for the pieces that were real and that was dark, but I felt like it was going down a road where it's like, you're not liking the main character. You're not liking the family either. Abby should just ditch and go. But of course, Christmas Day comes and it is a Christmas and it's supposed to be a rom-com movie, so they have to bring it back to where it was. And I feel like the ending was a little lackluster. I feel like that part was just like, oh shit, we're all okay, but like it takes time. I remember when I came out as bi, then I came out as gay. But even then, I feel like my dad took a while to kind of adjust to what's happening, even though he wasn't against it. He just had to adjust to it. And I know for sure that Dad would not adjust to it the next day unless it's pushed on Christmas, because Christmas is making it happen. And I think that's ridiculous. And I feel like, me personally, my opinion is that it insensitized the idea, desensitize the idea of how intense it is to come out, how intense it is, what it actually looks like when parents have to take time to love their kid. It is not a switch of like, oh, it's okay. Sometimes it is. Sometimes people are like, yeah, we kind of knew, or yeah, that's great. But there's other times where it's just like, I need time to adjust, or nope, this is not it, get out of my house kind of thing, or I'll never accept you, only Jesus can save you kind of thing. You know, there's so many angles, but with that said, it does take time. It does take time sometimes. Like, people need to adjust. They're not going to be like, okay, cool, gay, you know? Sometimes it happens. With that said, that's pretty much what I have for this movie. It's out of 5, so I give it a 3 out of 5 because of the atmosphere, because of the cast was really good, but the storyline, the save at the end to make it back into a rom-com was kind of just like, oh, it kind of wrapped everything up so fast without actually gradually going, where I felt like the whole movie had a great gradual sense of things. So yeah, leave a comment below, tell me what you thought. If you liked it, let me know. If you didn't like it, let me know. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you like what you saw. If you want to see more of my videos, hit the like button, and also notification button for more of my videos too. And I shall see you all in the next video.